Mississippi's Accelerate Conference on Technology. That's where we have relocated the Element Wealth Studios today. We're pleased to welcome now Kevin Decker, the CEO of Ocean Aero. Kevin, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Gerard.
All right, so tell us about your company. What do you guys do exactly?
You know, Ocean Aero builds and operates the world's only autonomous system for the ocean that is both a sailboat that transforms into a submarine.
Wow.
So we can dive 100 meters below the ocean surface and stay there for a long time. So there's lots of applications in defense and science and oil and gas.
Wow. And controlled, I guess, remotely? Is that the way you control it?
The idea is that they are truly autonomous robots.
Okay, so they're autonomous.
You set the mission, it'll figure out how to get the job done.
Gotcha.
Now, you can take over when you want.
Okay.
But generally speaking, you want to have a many-to-one relationship. One human operator monitoring many of what we call the Tritons.
You got one out here in the hall, huh?
Yeah, we sure do. They let us set
really
it up
cool.
there. I appreciate that. It's a pretty neat design. It's taken several years to get the technology really dialed in. It's a system that only uses the wind and the sun.
Okay.
So you're looking at lithium-ion batteries. You've got lots of solar panels on the outset. So there's no burnable fuel. It's ecologically friendly, and it's quiet in the ocean.
Are you the creator of this? Are you the inventor?
No, I'm not that smart, Gerard. You know, they barely let me touch the thing. They barely let me touch the thing. No, we have a brilliant team of engineers down in Gulfport, Mississippi.
Okay.
About 14, 15 of these guys that come to work every day. And over the past 4 years, they have really crafted this into this hybrid of machine and software capability. So no, I'm just the face at the top of the company, but these guys do all the real work.
And you relocated the company from California, right?
We sure did. From San Diego, we opened our doors second or third day of January 2022. So it's been 3 years now, and we opened our brand new building about a year ago down in Gulfport, right on the port there.
Yeah. So what brought you to Mississippi? What motivated you to pick up and move out of California?
Look, there's a lot of things. I would say that the one, proximity to people who care.
Okay.
There is government here that cares. There is a academic institution that cares. There's actually an industrial base for this type of industry in maritime science and offshore energy and defense that is better here than pretty much anywhere in the country. And then also you've got a backstop of congressional support. You know, the senators and the congressmen here in Mississippi are very vocal, and they put their money where their mouth is. They say and a lot of great things, and they do what they say, and we found that very attractive.
Yeah. Who are your customers?
Well, the United States Navy is the biggest customer.
Okay.
And there are a few others, American allies around NATO and other parts of the world. There are some intelligence agencies and things of that nature. And then also offshore energy. So when you think about national oil companies, international oil companies, people that you and I buy gas from every day, they've got a lot of underwater infrastructure.
Sure.
And that infrastructure needs to be protected. It needs to be monitored, not just from bad actors, but from accidents, anchor strikes, things that may break over time. And then, of course, you've got a hydrocarbon leak that you've got a problem with. And so monitoring becomes very important.
What about just normal wear on the infrastructure underground on these oil platforms and so forth?
That's exactly right. I mean, these are objects in the harshest environment in the world. You got tides, you got winds and storms that kick things up, and over time, protective mats erode, sand and silt go over and under and above, and they move these pipelines around. So it is very important to maintain kind of a sensing program over this infrastructure.
We're talking to Kevin Decker, CEO of Ocean Aero. So, Kevin, are there any sort of regulations that come down from the federal government that could possibly apply to your vehicles, your devices here?
There are a few. I would look at BOEM in the United States and a few other organizations that have some guidelines. I wouldn't say they're necessarily regulations that you have to hard and fast adhere to. I think a lot of this is just smart business.
Okay.
If you are going to make a lot of money on selling oil, you don't want the oil disrupted.
Well, sure.
You know, and beyond regulation, I think it's just geopolitical intelligence. Just yesterday, I don't know if you saw, Gerald, there was 2 pipelines destroyed in the Baltic Sea connecting Norway, Finland, and Germany. Now, those were human beings who took that out, and it disrupted data, internet cable, and oil and gas. And we don't want that happening anywhere near the United States. And so we are building platforms that help us do that faster, higher quality, less people, and ultimately less expensive.
Okay. So you said right now the Department of Defense, specifically the United States Navy, a customer. Are there use cases that they're applying this to that you could share with us?
Sure. There are many. I think if you just broadly think about what we do is you are finding things in the ocean. Okay, you are sensors of eyes and ears. Now, you can be finding illegal immigrants. You could be finding drug runners. You could be finding people who are running weapons in or out of places. We call that intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, or ISR. But you can also find other things, mines. You can find submarines. You can find a great variety of what we'll call adversarial capabilities out there, simply by being persistent in the water.
Interesting.
If you and I go out there, we get hungry, we get tired, we got to come back.
Yeah.
Machines and robots sit out there for a long time. So.
I used to say they don't get sick, don't quit, and don't take vacation.
That's right. That's right. So those are some of the applications we do.
Okay, that's interesting. How many employees do you have?
We have 65 now. 60 plus or so are in Mississippi.
Okay.
All sourced from here. Great community. We have actually had a great deal of success in hiring. Before the move, we would post a role and we'd get 10 applicants in a month. We post roles now, we get 200 in about a day.
Wow.
And it doesn't really matter what discipline we post. It could be production, it could be engineering, it could be a number of activities. So we have been extremely pleased with not just the quantity, but the quality of people that have come through here. And I think that is fueled by a great system of both community college as well as different types of colleges from across the state, Ole Miss, USM, Mississippi State, et cetera.
Awesome. So are the products actually manufactured in Mississippi as well?
100%.
Okay.
So the supply chain base we have deliberately kept as 98% American, 2% from American allies and NATO. All of it is manufactured from the first board and card of the computer all the way to the final assembly is done in Gulfport. It takes about a month to build one of these, and it takes a few weeks to shake down in the ocean. So it comes into the building as a pile of goop, and it comes out as a miniature submarine.
Are there military specs, mil specs that you have to adhere to in the production and design?
There are. We are not fully mil spec yet. That's going to be a few years into the process. We are on the road of that process. It does take quite a bit of money to do that. You need a little bit of adoption first, which we do have. There are things called programs of record in the DoD that you graduate into before you really put your money down on mil spec. But when that day comes, they call it shake, rattle, and roll testing.
Yeah.
So you gotta really pretend like you're out there in the wild. But we are on an arc to do that.
Yeah, we used to call that a bake-off in my industry. Got to do a bake-off like the old county fairs.
That's it. That's exactly.
That's really cool. What's on the boards, on the horizon for you?
I think we are getting really good at building these machines that are very robust. I think the next frontier is going to be making them really smart. Okay, so that could be machine learning and taking what I call large amounts of data, turning them into information. But you don't stop there. You take that information and you translate it into intelligence. And can a machine or a software figure out what to do like a human would and react to the real world when you can't be there?
I see.
And so that's what I think we're going to go after. We're going to be hiring a lot more artificial intelligence specialists, a lot more software specialists, et cetera.
Yeah. What about your connection to Innovate Mississippi? Kevin, what can you tell us about that?
I first met Tony Jeff and Innovate Mississippi early this year, and they were extremely helpful to us in kind of integrating us with the broader venture capital group across Mississippi. We also know Advantage Capital very well, who does a lot of tax advantage work here in the state. And they kind of met with us and said, hey, how can we be helpful in being a part of the broader organization? So they were helpful in connecting us to a lot of the MDA affiliates and Lieutenant Governor and Governor's offices and helping us liaise specifically in Jackson. It's been a great partnership so far. I love their funding structure. Just walking around today, we've been able to see a lot of their ecosystem come to bear, and I think it's going to be very helpful to the overall community.
Yeah. What do you think about this event?
I think it's amazing. My favorite part is not just seeing the government affiliates. It's not just seeing the financiers and the founders. My favorite part are the kids.
Yeah,
we got middle schoolers and high schoolers.
Isn't that awesome?
They're building robots. I wasn't doing that in high school. So I think it's very fascinating. They have one group set up right next to our Triton out there, and I got to tell you, we're going to hire a couple of them pretty soon.
That is awesome, man. That is so fantastic. So, are you recruiting people from within the state, outside the state, wherever you can find people? I assume that can have the qualifications.
We'll do pretty much anywhere, but I tell you, we have a vast preference for being in Mississippi. Okay. So we have a big facility, 63,000 square feet. It's on the water, on the port of Gulfport. We didn't build it for nothing. We intend to fill that with people. We believe in the synergy of people being able to work together in the same building, and that's why literally 95% of our population is in Mississippi. There are a few roles outside of that you have to be in the customer, you got to be in near the Pentagon, that kind of thing. But virtually all of our material production and engineering and administrative roles will all be here in Mississippi.
Okay. That is totally awesome. Well, congratulations on all the success you're having, and on behalf of the state of Mississippi, thank you for locating the company inside our great state, and I think the best is yet ahead. I'm just sitting here thinking about how this evolution of artificial intelligence is going to play a key role in your future.
Oh, I think it will be. It'll be for all of us, but we're going to try to lead the way, and I appreciate you having me here today, and I appreciate Mississippi having us.
Kevin, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Yep, appreciate it, buddy. Kevin Decker, CEO of Ocean Aero, has been our guest. The Element Well studio, once again, is down at the Westin in downtown Jackson for the Accelerate Conference on Technology. Innovate Mississippi is the sponsor. Coming